What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I'm going to be doing my first class setup video for Call of Duty Ghosts. And keep in mind, these classes are going to change throughout the entire life cycle of this game. This is just the first or second week into the game right now, and at this point I'm still learning things, still figuring things out, and these are definitely going to be changing. But I thought I'd share my classes with you guys because maybe you guys can learn something from it, maybe pick something up that you see that I'm doing that may work for you. Or maybe you can even give me a little bit of advice. I know my classes are not going to be perfect, and maybe you guys can give me some suggestions, and I'd love to see that in the comments. Alright, so the first class that I have here is the class that I'll pull out when I run into a really difficult game. So maybe if I'm playing solo and I end up against a full party or something like that, then I will pull this gun out, and I will try my best to win that game. And as you can see, I'm using the MSBS, which a lot of people would call overpowered at this point in the game. And I do agree with that, which is why I don't use this all the time. I just use it when I get into a tough spot. And you'll notice I'm using a concussion grenade, which really helps me on the B flag a lot of the times. If I get a tough B flag, like on Whiteout for instance, concussion grenades are extremely helpful. And then for my perks, I've got Stalker, Dead Silence, and Awareness, and that combo of Dead Silence and Awareness is very important at the beginning of this game's life cycle because it's kind of hard to tell where people are at this point, and people are still figuring out their routes and everything, so it sort of acts as a little mini portable radar to me. At least that's how I view it. So Dead Silence and Awareness, very important on that class. Focus is basically like Toughness in Black Ops 2, so that is also very important for helping me win those gunfights. And then Ready Up is also, it's only worth 1 point, and it's basically Dexterity from Black Ops 2, so it's also very, very helpful in a gunfight. And then I just threw on the Assault Strike package, and if I manage to earn those choppers, then it's basically game over. Okay, so moving on to my second class, this is more of my go-to class. This is the class that I'll just pull out in most games, and I'll use this most of the time. And this is using the SC-2010, which is actually my favorite gun in the game at this point. At least it's my most used gun, and I really enjoy using it. It's very effective at long range. I consistently kill snipers across the map very quickly with this gun. And it's also not too bad at close range for an assault rifle. It does compete with some SMGs at close range. So that's why I like that. And for perks, I'm using Ready Up and Quick Draw. Just allows me to be really mobile, really fast with aiming down sight. Dead Silence, which is, in my opinion, very, very important to have in this game. And then I also want to stay off the radar with this class. You'll notice I'm using a silencer and extended mags. So I do want to use off the grid here. And then once again, I'm using Focus. And with this one, I'm using Specialist as well. And I really like to start off my Specialist chain with Scavenger because I don't feel like I really need it until I earn it. So once I earn it, then I get that Scavenger, and at this point is when I start to need it. And then after that, I earn Amplify and then Takedown. And Takedown was just there basically because it's a lower value, so it allows me to earn my bonus faster. And with the bonus, I just have basically perks that allow me to be faster and more mobile. Now for my third class, this is my basically run and gun objective class where I'm just going to be all over the map all the time, right up in the enemy's face as much as possible. So I have Lightweight and Marathon and the Vepr, which is actually turning out to be one of my favorite SMGs in the game right now. When I was doing the stats testing for this, it didn't seem like it really stood out at all, but after playing with it, I really, really enjoy using it. And I have the grip and muzzle brake on that. And yeah, basically this just allows me to be really mobile. Once again, I have that Dead Silence Awareness combo, and I also have Focus on there. And for this one, I'm using just a lower Assault Strike package because I do anticipate dying quite a bit with this class. It's basically rush in, get as many kills before you die, and then spawn up and do the same thing over and over again. And I'll often break 50 or 60 kills in a domination game with this class, even on the bigger maps. So moving on to the fourth class, this is basically my SC-2010 class, but with an SMG. Everything is very similar to it. All the perks are almost even the same. There's a few variations here or there. Some things got moved around in my strike chain for Specialists, for instance, but overall it's basically the same class as my SC-2010, but instead I'm using an SMG, and I use this for more of the close range maps, or maps where I like to use routes that are more close range. Okay, my next class you guys have seen in my How to Take Out Juggernauts video, and this is basically my class that I use for taking out Juggernauts and air support, and basically any kill streaks, because I have the LSAT with armor-piercing rounds, which is great for taking out choppers and Juggernauts and everything basically. Then I have the rocket launcher, which is also awesome for those same things. I have the concussion, which stops Juggernaut Maniacs in their tracks. Then I have Ready Up and Quick Draw, which are vital for LMGs in my opinion, just helps them become a little bit more mobile than they are. Same with Stalker. In my mind, if you're using an LMG without Stalker, you're doing it wrong. And then I also have Reflex, which allows me to switch to my rocket launcher really quickly and also throw those stuns quickly so those maniacs don't get to me in time. And then I also just threw on support for this. And that's basically because I usually just switch to this class for long enough to take out whatever I need to take out, and then I play out the rest of the life until I die. So if I just throw on support, then maybe I'll get some ballistic vests or something that will be an added bonus for my team. So finally for classes, we have my sniper class, and I'm really surprised, but I really enjoy sniping in this game. I actually have played quite a few full games of sniping, which I would almost never do in previous Call of Duties. And I'm actually very successful with it as well. I can play the objective quite well with it. I usually use this in Domination. If I use this in Domination, I usually get about 40 kills in a game, and those are mainly gun kills. And I also still get quite a few captures at the same time. And for a secondary, I really like using the M9. It's just the pistol that seems to work out the best for me. None of the pistols seem to be extremely powerful in this game to me, so it's not a huge deal for me, but I do use the M9. And then for a lethal, I use the IED, and this is basically just to watch my back if I'm in a certain power position that I want to defend, and that'll just keep an eye on my back for me and kill anyone that's trying to sneak up on me. Or sometimes I'll just throw it on the B flag after I capture it or something like that. So I can cap the B flag, throw that IED down, and then just run away, get out of there, and it makes it that much more difficult for the enemy to capture. And for perks, I'm using Ready Up and Quick Draw, which is a no-brainer for the sniper rifles. I'm also using Incog on this class, and that's because I've been seeing a lot of snipers using thermal sights. And sometimes you find a really great spot when you're sniping, and you're pretty much invisible to the naked eye, but with thermal sights you're extremely easy to see. So with Incog, it allows me to use these spots more effectively because those thermal sights can't see you. And also I'm using Amplify on this class, and that's basically just so people don't sneak up on me. You'll notice I'm not using Dead Silence, and that's because I basically just move from cover to cover with this class. I'm not going to be rushing around all the time, sprinting all over the place. I'm usually just sprinting from one place to another, and then getting my kills there, and then moving on to the next place, getting my kills there. So I find Amplify is much more effective. And finally, I'm using the Assault Strike package on this with the dog, which is just great for snipers because nobody can sneak up on you. The Trinity Rocket, I'm basically just trying to learn how to use this effectively. I've been struggling with it lately, so I'm just trying to use it as much as possible. And then finally, the Battle Hind, which surprisingly I earn quite often with this class. And as you guys probably know, the Battle Hind can be very effective if the enemy team doesn't shoot it down or isn't smart enough to get inside. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys for my first class setup video for Call of Duty Ghosts. If you guys have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments below. I'd really be interested in trying some new things out and some things that you guys are maybe successful with. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.